1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Banjo Land, Mike Heading here. Today we're going to tackle the classic bluegrass standard Little Maggie in the key of G. I've got two basic solos to this song, maybe drifting into intermediate just a little bit, but I think you'll be able to get them with some practice. This is a great lesson for someone that wants to add a little bluesy element to their playing. Maybe you've got some basic songs down and now you're looking to add a little edge to your playing. Blues is a big part of bluegrass. Knowing these types of licks and positions is going to help you play lots of different songs. I'm going to break down the whole thing note for note, show you both solos note for note, and then do a pretty extensive backup lesson for Little Maggie. This is a great lesson because of how the chords lay out to practice your different inversions. You know, going through your different chord shapes, and I'm going to break it all down in the backup section. So I've got a whole bunch of backup ideas for Little Maggie you can use. All right, here's Little Maggie in the key of G. All right, let's start breaking down this Little Maggie in the key of G. I'm going to play the first 5 measures, and then we'll start breaking it down. Here we go. Let's do that a few times. Time, a little slower. Okay, so we're going to start with our pickup. We're going to pinch strings 3 and 1 on the and of beat 1. So what I'd recommend is count beat 1, 1, and then we're going to pinch and. So I'm pinching strings 3 and 1 with my index and middle finger. Then I'm going to hit the open 4th string. I'm going to hit that actually twice, and then the 3rd fret on the 4th string. So I'm doing that first pinch and then 3 thumbs in a row with my right hand. So it's 1 and 2, 3, 4. And you could use, I like using my 3rd finger there. You could also use your 2nd finger of your left hand, whatever feels more comfortable. I like using my 3rd finger though. So one more time, 1. You might have seen that kick off previously in other songs with the 2nd fret. Something like that, maybe a 9-pound hammer or Will the Circle Be Unbroken or something like that. The 3rd fret makes it a little bluesier. You hear the difference? Versus. So it's an easy way to modify a kickoff just to make it a little bluesier is just add that 3rd fret instead of the 2nd fret. So one more time, here we go. And if you're having trouble with that initial offbeat pinch, you could just skip that and just play count beat 1 and then play the rest of it. 1, 2, 3, 4. So if you're having trouble with that initial offbeat pinch, just skip it and then just count beat 1. Like I said, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then for measure 2, we're going to slide that 3rd finger or whatever finger you use. I'm using my 3rd finger, remember. We're going to slide it from 3 to 5 while doing a forward roll. So T-I-M with my right hand. Strings 4, 3, 1. Don't slide too quick. It's 1 and 2. Get a little, make sure you kind of exaggerate that first note and don't slide too quick. That'll add to that bluesy sound. Then I'm going to go up and do 5, 3, 1, T-I-M again. And then thumb middle to finish out the measure. So that sounds like this. I'll just loop measure 2. So not too hard. Remember, just keep your right hand moving. Don't worry too much about that slide, especially if you're a beginner. There's no pause in the right hand, so make sure you're not pausing with your right hand when you slide. Let's put 1 and 2 together. Here we go. 1. One more time. 1. Now on measure 3, we're going to go up and do a 1-3 hammer-on the second string. Again, this is an example of taking a lick you might know and making it a little bluesier. You might have seen that 2-3 hammer-on the second string, you know, in like a Foggy Mountain Breakdown or a very common lick. Basically, we're moving that first note down to the first fret and then doing a 1-3 hammer-on. Just gives it a little bluesier sound rather than the 2-3 hammer-on. So I'm doing 1-3. I'm using my first and third finger, my index finger and my ring finger. And I'm bringing my thumb of my right hand all the way down to the second string. I'm going to do thumb middle while doing that hammer on. Again, don't hammer on too quick, same as my slide. So I'm doing thumb middle, and then I'm going up to the fifth string and doing 5-2-1, keeping both fingers down on my left hand. And then I'm going to go back and do 5-2-1 again, taking my third finger off. So that sounds like this. Stretching practice. You have to bend your hand in the correct angle so you're not muting that first string, and that might take a little bit of stretching practice. It's good practice. You know, you could use your pinky if you absolutely had to, but I'd recommend using your first and third finger. The other reason why I'm bringing my thumb down to start that measure is kind of a Scruggs rule, is if you can use your thumb, you should. So that's something I'm doing there. It also helps pop out the melody. Let's do 2 and 3 together. Here we go. One more time. Keep your right hand moving there. There's no pause in the right hand. And then measure 4. You're going to keep your first finger down. We're going to go into our F chord. So third finger down on the third fret of the fourth string, second finger on the second fret of the third string. You could put your pinky all the way up on the third fret of the first string, but we're not actually going to use that note, so I'm just choosing to leave that off. But that's our F chord right there. So you're basically planting from your first finger right there, and then we're going to do a 2 open pull off on the third string. I did thumb, index, thumb there. Third string, second string, and then fourth string. And I'm getting 3 notes there, so it's 1 E and 2. I like pulling toward my palm on those pull-offs. You can kind of pull on the string a little bit. So that's my lick there. And then we're going to play those notes again without the pull-off. And then one more time again without the pull-off. So that's 1 E and 2, 3 and 4 is how you count that. And then 1 and 2 going into measure 5. So let's do 4 and the beginning of 5. So it sounds like this. And the melody there is actually just the low 3rd fret 4th string. And so we're just filling it up with just some roll basically. What I would do is kind of accent your thumb there. And then the end of measure 5, you can take your third finger off if you have to, or else you can leave it down. We're going to do a backwards roll. First string, second string, third string, and then first string. So M-I-T-M there. So 4 and 5 sound like this. Good practice too. You have to figure out how to bend your hand out. Keep your hand out enough so you're not muting that first string. Let's do the first 5 together. Here we go. One more time. Let's do the first 5 one more time. Here we go. And the melody of the first part is So it's just a low open third string, and then we're going all the way up to the first string, and then the first fret, second string, and then down to the third fret on the fourth string. That's kind of the melody in its crudest form. That's what you kind of want to hear there. So how are we implying that melody? We're sliding into that note, and then instead of just hitting the open first string, we're hammering on into it. And then we filled that up with a roll, and then a pull off. This song, you want to think of the melody, we're playing out of our chord shapes. So when you're looking for your melody, think of the chords above the song. So we got G, our melody is coming from our G chord. And then when we go to our F, our melody is found in those notes. Sometimes they're called the chord tones, but we're basically playing out of those chord shapes. Now that's the end of measure 5. Here's measure 6.